What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Vange, and welcome to the updated Meta Simplified guide for the Fusion Cup. I was going through a couple of tournaments over the weekend and I found a couple of iffy ones, and then I was kind of like frustrated, but then I was thinking as well, you know what? This isn't even gonna matter by next weekend, which is the more important thing, right? We have to prepare for the future, and next weekend, what's gonna happen? Empoleon's gonna pop off. Now, I know that some of you guys might be thinking, bro, it's only one Pokemon, right? Hydro Cannon with Empoleon, we can study that one Pokemon will be fine. Your old Meta Simplified guide was fine. No need to like make another one. Yes, you're right. It is gonna make, Hydro Cannon Empoleon is gonna make a ripple, but it's not gonna be a big, massive shift, right? A big, massive wave, okay? But the thing is, there's also some other new Pokemon, right? Escavalier. Okay, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, right? Which is looking okay. And also, I kind of like still owe you guys from my previous Meta Simplified guide. I didn't talk about a lot of good picks, right? I didn't talk about Heracross, Cloyster, friggin' Frostlass. The thing is, a lot of these Pokemon that I did not talk about in the first Meta Simplified guide have been in the tournaments and have been successful. Alright? So I think that it's definitely worth it to make an updated version with the new Pokemon so that you get updated, okay? So that you're up to speed. And if you really think about it, that Meta Simplified guide, I made that last year. Alright? So, it's a new year. We're new people. We're better battlers. Let's get updated. Let's get learned up, okay? And let's prepare for the future, alright? Now, before anything, I just want you to know that it's still entirely possible that I miss out on something, right? I'm human, I make mistakes, I miss out on Pokemon, and it's also impossible for me to really like cover every single Pokemon in the cup, okay? But if you find some secret sauce, right? You can refer to this video or the other videos to check your choice versus the more popular choices, right? So you can maybe you're thinking about like Honchkrow, okay? You can use this guide to check your matchups versus the other flyers, and so figure out, is it worth it? In this episode, we're gonna cover the flying types and the fire types, right? In episode 2, which is right there, we're gonna cover the steel, the ice, and the fairy types. Just be patient, it's gonna come out. And then in episode 3, which is again right there, we're gonna cover the water types, the counterers, alright, the counter users, and the grass types, alright? So today we're gonna hit 2 groups, and it's gonna be the flyers and the fires. Now, what do they have in common? It's 2 groups. The first group that they have in common, grass types. Alright, so the flyers and the fires, fantastic grass type slayers, and the second one, counter. Alright, so the flyers and the fires are very good counters. Okay, yes, Breloom is also another counter user, right? Why not have it here? Why have it in the grass type section? It's because it's just nicer to see the differences between Shiftry, Venusaur, and Breloom because they're nice side grades of each other. These guys, if I included Breloom here, it would be so similar to Heracross, and so it's just a formatting thing, and I like the way that Breloom contrasts itself to Shiftry and Venusaur, alright? Okay, so moving on to the flying type coverage, same type coverage. Noctowl loses to Altaria, but there are many ways to overcome this matchup. Noctowl can beat Altaria, you just need some energy, right? So you can back-to-back Sky Attack, you can try the QSA, you just need just one fast attack. Look at this, alright? If you get that off, you win, alright? It's not an IV thing. Even if you maximize both, you're not gonna get to that third wing attack. But if you QSA, if you back-to-back type of thing, I've seen so many clips of like tournament battles where Noctowl beats Altaria fresh. It just had to like QSA to back-to-back. There's ways, alright? Moving on to fire type coverage. The flyers are very good fire type slayers, and Noctowl is such a hard counter to Alolan Marowak. Moving on to the water types, Altaria loses to the ones with ice type moves, even if they just do straight ice type moves, right? Blizzard, straight ice punch, it's got it, alright? Well, they have Altaria, right? And then with Noctowl, it loses to Quagsire, the only one with rock type moves. Alright, so straight Stone Edge, 3 Stone Edges, dead. Steel types is a bad situation, but with Altaria and Empoleon, it needs to get the Flash Cannon to kill Altaria, right? So if it does not get this, right, let's say it went straight Hydro Cannon, okay? You lose, okay, with Empoleon. Or let's say you went straight Flash Cannon, you have to bait and then land the Flash Cannon for the win. Also, while we're on the topic of Steel types, Probopass with Rock Throw completely demolishes the birds, right? The flyers, no shielding with Noctowl, leaves you with 61 HP plus a ton of energy. And then with Altaria, it is less HP, but, you know, energy as well. You still survive for sure. No need to block, and you're gonna get, you know, a lot of shield pressure with you. Rock Slide after Rock Slide, or maybe like Thunderbolt, depends on what comes out, okay? Ice types, it's not a good situation, right? And that is Powder Snow, Alolan Ninetales, if you were wondering. And finally, Fairy. Now that is Charm, Alolan Ninetales, right? So the thing is, for Altaria, Charm is a really bad situation. Fairy is a really bad situation, but for Noctowl, it's playable. It's very IV based, but it's playable against Wigglytuff and Ninetales. It actually depends on what your opponent does. And then with Togekiss, it wins. Alright, so check this out. Default stats, default, okay. Alright, Wigglytuff wins, but if you maximize, so if you have a really good Noctowl, okay, really good Noctowl, you can win this. Alright, check this out. 2 HP. But you can win. It's a possibility, alright? But the thing is, why I said earlier, it depends on what your opponent does. If your opponent does not throw the charge attack, and this is for both Alolan Ninetales and Wigglytuff, it's a clear win, right? So it's a clear loss, right? So it really depends, but this is a much better situation compared to Altaria. So the differences between Altaria and Noctowl: 1, the water types that they cover, alright, take a look at that. Number 2, but this one might be a minor one, Empoleon can lose to Altaria, right, if it does not land the Flash Cannon. And finally, the Fairy types, and this is a massive win for Noctowl because even if it doesn't win by a lot, or even if it doesn't win, it gets them down very low. Alright, so moving on to the Flyers. And again, the Flyers and the Fires are fantastic grass type slayers, except that Alolan Marowak here and Shiftry have such a close match. I mean, like 1 HP, guys, right? So this is, I don't know, this is really IV based, I guess, and that's straight foul play, guys. That is straight foul play. It's IV based, so Shiftry won that default stats. Over here, Alolan Marowak wins by 1 HP maximized. I mean, come on, can you actually find a maximized, like a really top tier Alolan Marowak? That's also pretty difficult, right? So difficult, but yeah. And the Flyers and the Fires are also fantastic counters. Alright, against the Flyers are pretty bad, and this is one of the differences, right? So if you want something that covers the grass, the counterers, yes, and also the Fires, then maybe the Flyers are what you're looking for in your team comp, right? This is for the tournaments when you're looking for like your lines of 3s. For same type coverage, Alolan Marowak destroys Charizard with his Shadow Balls, right? So straight Shadow Ball, dead. Now for the water type coverage, this is another difference between the Flyers and the Fires. The Flyers actually have some water type coverage, right? But with the Fires, it's looking pretty bad for the, you know, Mud Boy coverage. But with Poliwrath against Marowak, it's pretty clear, right? You can go straight Shadow Ball, you've got this. And then with Charizard, really the best thing to do is to bait with the Dragon Claw and then land another Dragon Claw and a Blast Burn, right? Because if you go straight Dragon Claw, and let's say the Poliwrath has fantastic IVs, right? Let's say, okay, it can actually get to the Ice Punch to kill you, right? Yeah, so yeah, the best thing to do is go for the bait, but you have 2 chances, right? You can bait 2 times with the Dragon Claw and then Blast Burn for the kill. Moving on to Steel type coverage, this is another difference between the Flyers and the Fires. The Fires have some Steel type coverage, similar to how the Flyers have some water type coverage, right? So they're kind of like different in that way. So if you're thinking for your team comp, I need something that kills grass, the counterers, and you know, maybe the steel types, right? Then maybe a fire type might be the thing you're looking for. Now, there's some iffy matches here. This one right here is weird, right? Bronzong versus Marowak. It seems like Marowak has the upper hand, right? But let's say you go straight Shadow Ball, right? Let's say you go straight Shadow Ball. This is with default stats. That's 2 HP. Okay? If you maximize, interesting enough, right? If you maximize, you come out with more HP. Okay? So it 6 HP. But if you go straight Bone Club in, let's say, like default stats, right? Default stats. So I really think that the best thing to do is to bait and then go for the Shadow Ball kill, right? Yeah, you come out with so much more HP. Okay, is that gonna make a difference? Yes, guys, of course that's gonna make a difference. If you maximize both of them though and then go straight Bone Club, you actually lose. So, well, you both die. it's a tie, but still, it's a weird match. So really, the best thing to do is to go for the bait and then throw the ball for the kill, right? This is gonna give you like the best results if you can pull it off. But let's say you threw the ball and they blocked it. Pray that you have enough HP to get to the second ball for the kill. Alright, so just hope and pray that your IVs are good. Now, the other iffy match here is Probo Pass. This is with default stats. You win, but if you maximize, meaning if they have a fantastic IV Probo Pass, you lose, right? But both very, very low HP, like 3 HP, 5 HP, something like that, right? But the thing is, here's a trick, okay? If you just opt not to throw with Probo Pass, with maximized stats, you still win, right? And then with default stats, meaning if their Marowak is bad IVs, which is most likely the case, right? You win with a lot of HP, okay? Like, there's probably like a bulk point there, alright? But this will make it more sure. Now with Spark Probo Pass, it's kind of like iffy as well. It's an IV thing once again, right? So this is with default stats. If you maximize, once again, Probo Pass wins, but this time you can't farm down, right? That's the thing. Alright, so moving on to the ice type coverage. This is another difference between the Flyers and the Fires. The Flyers have bad ice type coverage. The Fires have some ice type coverage. Alright, so there are some playable matches here. Let's start off with Alolan Marowak and Frostlass. Now, I am expecting that more people will have a good IV Frostlass after seeing this, right? So if you have default stats, that's how it goes. You completely lose to Marowak with Frostlass, but if you have fantastic IVs, you can actually get to a Shadow Ball. So it becomes like a shootout type of situation, right? If you can land this Shadow Ball, you can kill Marowak. So it's playable. Question, can your Frostlass go straight Shadow Ball if you have fantastic IVs? Possibly, right? Possibly. It seems like no, but what if your opponent doesn't throw the Shadow Ball? What if he just goes straight Bone Club, right? Yeah, you can actually get to it. So it's a playable thing. Now, this is not the only matchup that Frostlass wins because of IVs. Trust me, you're gonna want a fantastic IV Frostlass. But we'll talk about Frostlass in another episode. Now, this is another playable match, right? So you have to land this Ice Beam on Charizard for the kill, right? Now, the thing is, can you go straight Ice Beam? The answer is maybe, right? It's again another playable match. It's a shootout once again, right? If your opponent goes for the Blast Burn and lands it, right? Let's say the CMP type went to Charizard, yeah, you're dead, okay? But let's say he went straight Dragon Claw or straight Blast Burn, you can actually pull it off, okay? So Blast Burn, you got that. With Dragon Claw, you got that. It's not gonna kill you. And so, it's a maybe. It's a shootout again. Last iffy playable match is Charizard versus Cloyster. You have to land the Blast Burn, right? Unfortunately, if you get to this, right, it's a CMP tie, right? So, it's I guess more of a luck-based type situation. Plus, can you get this? And finally, the Ferry Types. And this is another difference between the Flyers and the Fire Types. The Flyers have bad situations with the Fairies. I mean, Noctowl is much better than Altaria, but it's not really like clear. But these guys, alright, the Fires have clear matches with the Fairies, straight Bone Club, and then with Togekiss, straight Shadow Ball, and then with Charizard, just straight Blast Burn, right? Can kill these guys. Alright, so differences between Alolan Marowak and Charizard. 1, Shiftry. Alright, Shiftry is an iffy match with Alolan Marowak. Number 2 difference, right? Same type coverage, Marowak can straight Shadow Ball Charizard. Number 3 difference is Poliwrath, right? Very clear with Marowak, straight Shadow Ball, and then with Charizard, you have to land 1 Dragon Claw and 1 Blast Burn after getting the Shield Bait with a Dragon Claw, right? But you have 2 chances, okay? But still a difference. Number 4 difference is the Steel types that they cover. Again, Alolan Marowak has iffy matchups. Charizard is a lot more clear. It wins what it wins, it loses what it loses. But Alolan Marowak does have more, right? So, and finally, number 5, the Ice type coverage. Alolan Marowak has a lot more clear matchups, right? And a lot of these iffy matches are shootouts, so they're a little bit stressful, right? So I guess Alolan Marowak has a better time here. And then finally, just to solidify the differences between the Flying and the Fires, right? They both have Grass, they both have Counter-Verse, but the Flying has Mud Boys specifically, right? Because the Fires can handle Poliwrath, right? Mud Boys and the Fire types, right? So Flying has Mud Boy Fire type, and then Fire has Ice, Steel, and Fairy. Alright? Okay. But that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Remember to leave a like, comment down below. Noctowl or Altaria? Marowak or Charizard? Comment down below, alright? Big shouts out to my Patreons. Thank you so much for all the support. I will work my butt off to make you better battlers, alright? I will give you my best, okay? Now, if you guys are interested in maybe checking out my Patreon, check the links in the description, and also check out my merch, alright? Links also in the description. There's a lot of good stuff there, so go check it out. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't yet, dig that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys!